So once you started teaching, eventually you got into putting your lessons online as like YouTube videos and stuff. Like, what was the inspiration for that, or where did you get the foresight that that's where the industry was kind of heading?
Well, I think like for the longest time, I had the idea because the originally there's so much bad content out there.
Yeah,
and like I was like, man, like it was literally like kids that had no teaching experience. Like when you watch somebody teach, you could tell if they know what they're doing or they're just like just saying random stuff. Like, hey, let's do an air chair. Let's just stick our arm here and we're doing an air chair, right? There you go. There you guys go.
Arm out. Step 2 here. Step 3 flying.
Yeah, it was like some bogus like tons of bogus material. So I kind of was like, I was motivated already to like do something, but I didn't have I wasn't in the right place to do it. I didn't have equipment. I didn't know how to film. I didn't know how to do anything. Yeah. So it actually got to a point where I was like started getting into video and photography just to like film dancing, just to like film our own crew stuff and just so we had that. So I had the equipment, and then at the same time, like one of the biggest struggles for dance teachers or just teaching artists in general is sustainability, and being able to have like consistent work is always an issue. So it was actually like during like a time when budget cuts were getting like chopped up. It was during the housing market crash. That housing
like 2008 or 2007.
Around there, housing market crash. People were losing their jobs, and then that eventually got to like public education. So most of my classes at that point were in schools. Actually, 100% of my classes were in schools at that point. Yeah. So all my classes were getting cut. Teachers were getting laid off. Schools were getting shut down. So it was pretty bad. Like there was like, if you could imagine, like at that point, every class had about 35 kids in it, elementary school. And say like this school right here, it gets shut down. All those kids got pushed into the neighboring school. So now each school now has literally like 50 kids. Kids are sitting on the floor. They don't have a seat.
Seriously?
So
what the hell?
It was pretty terrible. And so like the last thing on their mind was like, oh, let's have a dance class. So
yeah,
literally all my classes got cut. So I was like, man, how could I like continue to teach and like share material with these kids? So I started actually making tutorials, like just a beginner course. Like I did like basic top rocks, footwork, freeze. And I made it I would just send it to the teachers, like, here, just share it with the kids so they have something to learn. And like, I want to say like within a week, I started getting like random emails from kids from India. And like from like Indonesia. And I was just like, where are these? Like, I didn't even know kids break in Indonesia. So I continued to do it for for the next couple months. And like, literally my channel went from like, I think a couple hundred subscribers to like I think like it was like 30,000 within a couple months. And
seriously?
So
dang.
It grew pretty fast. And I think it was just because like at that time, like I said, like there was a lot of bad material out there and people that had no idea like how to teach. Yeah. Like they had no approach. And at that time I was like, most of my classes at that time too were teaching special needs kids. Yeah. So my approach was very like I guess like it's from a very basic standpoint. Like I have no idea what I'm doing to like, oh, I could do a freeze now. I could stand on my head now. So it's just like trying to like going from like kind of like trying to introduce it. And one of the goals too was trying to throw in like the legends, like B-Boy legends in there. So, cause a lot of the people online, the only people they see is like Red Bull BC1, or they see like, you know, somebody's teaching this video, or someone has their trailer online and it's super popular, but they're like garbage. Yeah. So like, I was like, man, I gotta change that. So
you gotta get the real like people out there.
Yeah. So I started like reaching out to like OGs that I look up to. And I'm like, here, this is who I look up to. Yeah. You guys should do your research on this person and like have them share, you know, some of their knowledge with them. So
Yeah.
It's kind of like I figured like if this is the internet age, like where people are gonna get their material, it might as well be good material.
Yeah, that's a little bit of the reason why I wanted to start this podcast. Actually, is because I want to give a voice to the people that I've always respected, that don't always get the the clout that they deserve, and maybe are pretty silent in the scene, but they deserve to be heard because they're very knowledgeable and highly respected by people of our generation.
Yeah. And I think that's the tough thing too, because people in the scene tend to get like lost and forgotten unless the present people are like preserving them.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of them like they don't care about like fame. They're just kind of like they're just they do what they do, and they are, if someone respects them, they respect them, but they don't really care. But like it gets to a point where people just don't know who they are anymore, and so I was like, man, I need to like make sure these kids that are learning like know where this stuff comes from. Like you're doing this move, like show respect to like who created or who influenced the style, or like who's the reason why there was even breaking in this city. So
yeah.